I say I am not campaigning for Obi, but he's the best. Reason is he has said that he's going to cut down what collects the money of government.
Cost of governance.
Cost of governance. That is where they kill us in this country. And new trajectory and new direction. We'll talk about other things.
You are obviously you are a candidate. Obi is your candidate.
No. Obi is, by my critical, unbiased assessment.
Right.
I am not making this statement because I am a part of Obi. I'm making this statement because he, and more by comparison, is the only one who has shown that if given opportunity, he can take this country.
But there are a lot of arguments, Peter, that Obi has less experience compared to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the former Vice President Atiku and Tinubu.
Is that the kind of experience you want?
I said this.
The experience that has made slavery out of Lagos, the experience that has made a man to produce governors for 20 years and is in control of the system of Lagos, the finances of Lagos. There is nothing that happens in Lagos without Tinubu's approval. Is that the kind of experience you are looking for? That is a malevolent experience. That is a diabolical experience. That is a retrogressive experience. That is a cancerous experience. That is a corrosive experience. That is a backward experience. That is a reducing experience. That is a poverty-oriented experience. That is a Stockholm syndrome experience. It is an experience that must be smashed to the split stream and dumped in the compost stone. Our country needs egalitarian, progressive, brilliant, intelligent people with capacity, idealistic, to take us from the nadir of insignificance to the pinnacle of global recognition. That's what we're looking for. We don't need the experience of plutocrats and plutocrats who have put us in a quagmire and subjected us to this level of misery and slavery.
Okay, praise.
Asu Ekiye could not hold back, and I really understand. It's always very annoying when people compare Obi with Tinubu and Atiku. Always very annoying because I don't understand the comparison of the three of them. So it's quite annoying. And then bringing the issue of experience that has not achieved anything. What kind of experience is that according to Asu Ekiye? Quite understandable. I really understand him, being upset because they were comparing the three of them. Now, there are two things in this video that I would like to react to. And number one is the issue of experience, which I'm already talking about. Now, this is one issue that we have in Nigeria. Before someone talks, it's okay, he has experience, especially at public offices. They will say he has stayed 20 years in service, he has stayed 30 years. Now, we value number of years and we call it experience. Somebody can stay 20 years, 30 years at a job, but he has no experience. Now, because he may not even be doing anything in that job. Maybe the person is just doing one aspect of that job or not even doing anything at all, or even spoiling the job itself, which is the case with our politicians. So when you say that they have stayed 20 years in the job being politician from governor to senator and all of those things, the point is, what have they achieved, which is more important than the number of years they have actually spent. Let me repeat myself. You can spend 20 years, 30 years at a particular thing, but you gained no experience because you may not even be doing that thing. Actually, you are just there marking time. So, and that is actually what happens with our politicians and most public office holders. Most of them don't add anything. Most of them don't even do the job. Okay, call any maybe civil servant engineer and say, okay, come and do this. Most of them don't even know what to do because, yes, they have been there 30 years in service, 20 years in service without experience. So that you have spent number of years at something may not necessarily equal experience if you are not doing the actual job that you are meant to do. So, and then again, when we talk about experience, what have you added to that place? So, because that you are there and nothing is working, there are bad experience. So it could even be a bad experience because that is the same thing. I remember Adams Oshomole, he was arguing about the current CBN governor that he managed banks that failed. So yes, that man, for instance, now had experience in banking. But the issue is, what was the result? How did the banks that he managed fare? How did the banks that he managed, how did they do? Did they do well or did they not do well? According to Oshomole, he said the banks actually folded, that he ran the banks down. So such a person, you can't be calling such an experience. Yes, he was there in the banking industry, but what was his result? What experience does he have? For me, he doesn't have experience because he didn't really achieve anything, according to Adams Oshomole. Okay, so and that is one issue that we're dealing with. And this thing I'm saying cuts across not just government, but also even in private sector. Somebody will just come and have experience. No, what have you done? Can we see what you have done? Okay, and that one of the current CBN governor is a typical example. Yes, this man had worked in the banking sector. Yes, this man has been there for years. But like Mr. Shomole was pointing out, what was his achievement? What was his experience? You notice that the experience was a negative one. It was a negative one. The same thing applies to our politicians. Yes, they have been there 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Some of them are even Methuselah in politics. No problem. But the key point is, that experience, is it a negative one or a positive one? What have they added to the society? What have they improved? But you notice that they have not improved anything, especially APC. APC took Nigeria backwards, and they're still taking Nigeria backwards. And like Asu said, you cannot call such an experience. Such things are not what somebody can use in a CV, because, I mean, what have you achieved? That is a negative experience that did not move where you were forward, but it actually moved it backwards. So having said that, the second thing I want to say is on the issue of cutting cost of governance, which is the main thing why Asue is saying that he would love Obi to be the president. And this is one thing, one of the reasons why many people actually supported and still support Obi. Look, in a country like Nigeria and any developing country, proper management of the resources is very key. Now, Nigeria doesn't have revenue issue. Nigeria has spending issue. The problem of Nigeria are two things, especially when it has to do with the economy: the issue of embezzlement and the issue of lavish spending, spendings that are unnecessary. These are the two major issues that we have when it comes with our economy. Number one, like I said, is the issue of corruption, embezzling the money outrightly. The money will just disappear like they have in oil. Sometimes they will tell you that how many barrels of oil are disappearing every day. And like Peter Obi has told us, that such disappearance cannot work unless government in power is involved. And that begins to tell you a lot of stories behind the so-called oil theft. So, and then the second one is the issue of lavish spending. These are the issues that we have. Until today, it is an issue in Nigeria, spending money unnecessarily. Let me just give you one that will just shock you. As at last year, 2024, the presidency spent 23 billion naira on foreign trips. When I say presidency, there are three people there: Tinubu, Shetima, and Remi Tinubu. These three people spent 23 billion naira on foreign trips. It is reported by the paper that is showing on the screen. So you can go and read the details. So this is what we are talking about. And this is the issue that we have in Nigeria. So all I'm saying in summary is that Asue said it and it is clear. That is why come 2027, we just have to support Peter Obi and do all that is within our power to ensure, by the grace of God, that this man becomes our president, because Nigeria will be better. Thank you, and God bless you.